I recently got a tattoo at the ripe old age of 64. I know what you're thinking. You're far too old to get a tattoo. In this video, I'll share why I chose to get a tattoo at this age. It's actually my third tattoo, what it means to me, and why I believe you're never too old to live your life boldly and on your own terms. I recently went up to Middlesbrough to meet my good friend and fellow YouTuber Ellis Stewart. We each got a tattoo. Not the same one, that would be creepy. He's a tattoo fan as well as me, and he introduced me to his tattoo artist who was kind enough to do the honours. By the way, you should check out his channel. He talks about all sorts of interesting stuff. He's a mountaineer and he actually climbed Mount Everest among other mountains, and he also does quite a bit of videoing on ghostly historic stories, particularly places like York where I live. So check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. For me, tattoos are not just a decoration, and they've got absolutely nothing to do with rebellion. They are a visual way to remind me of milestones in my life. I got my first one when I was 44, the year after my dad died and I'd sold my business. I waited 20 years to get the next one, which I got on the 20th anniversary of my father's death. And my latest one, the milestone that represents, is my 40th wedding anniversary. Now the big question is, why did I wait until I was 44 to get a tattoo? In all honesty, the reason is as simple as this. The real me disappeared for 20 years. Once I drifted into the corporate world and I had an office job, which was very much a dress code of suit and tie, I kind of lost myself. But when I sold my business at 44, it freed me of those corporate shackles, and it was a chance to start expressing the real me. From the age of 19, I spent all of that time up to 44, the best part of 25 years, working in an office, wearing a suit and a tie. There came a point in my life when I must have looked so boring that I went to have a haircut, and I can't have been more than about, I don't know, 32, 33 at the time, and the hairdresser asked me, "What do you do for a living? Are you an accountant?" And I said, "No, I'm not an accountant. I've got my own business. I've got an employment agency." And she said, "Oh, I thought you were an accountant." And I said, "Why do you say that?" "Oh, just the way you dressed and the hairstyle." And I thought, oh, great. Not that there's anything wrong with looking like an accountant, but it was my worst nightmare that somebody should think I looked like an accountant. It was a bit ironic, really, because the profession that I was in at that time was recruitment, particularly recruiting accountants. So what I took it to mean was that she thought I looked conservative. And on reflection, I did. I actually thought I looked the dog's bollocks in my Hugo Boss suit, my Armani ties, and my Rolex watch, but by then I was certainly no rebel and wasn't dressing like one either. I can remember when I was 18 or 19 years of age, I would never have dreamed of wearing a suit and tie. Back then I was riding motorcycles, wearing a black leather rocker jacket and had long blonde hair. How things had changed in just 10 years, to the point that by the time I was 30, I was mistaken for being an accountant. So how did that happen? Simple. I started conforming to societal norms. I was far too worried about what people thought of me to be able to express my individuality, and as a result of which, I just blended in with the crowd. Just another suit on the commute to an office in the city centre. But now I'm 64, I couldn't care less what people think of me. And I'm certainly not comparing myself to other people either. I'm now living my true, authentic life on my own terms. There isn't enough time left on this planet for me to worry about the silly things that I used to worry about when I was in my 20s and 30s. There was always a rebel in there just waiting to get out. Somehow, my choice of career had suppressed me, but at 44, I was free. So one of the first things I did was I went and got a tattoo. As I mentioned earlier, this latest tattoo captures a significant milestone in my life, my 40th wedding anniversary. And the reason I've got it is so that it's a constant reminder to me of the most important thing in life, and that is spending time with my family. And not just spending time with them, being fully present during that time. No distractions, especially work. getting in the way. Looking back to that earlier version of me when I was much younger, when I first had my son in my late 30s, we had him at 38, and I didn't appreciate it. I used to go on holiday and I spent more time dealing with work-related issues on holiday than I did actually spending time with my own son. I don't regret that now. It is what it is. It's who I was then, but I'm not that now. And from 44 years of age, I wasn't that either. So let's tackle the thing that you're thinking. You're too old for a tattoo. I know that some people think that tattoos are just for young people. They're for rebels and rock stars and 20-somethings who want to look edgy, right? But the truth is, tattoos are becoming very common at any age, particularly for the people who are over 50. Like my good friend Ellis, for example. And talking to the man who did the tattoo on me, he said that a lot of people in their 60s and 70s are coming into his tattoo parlour, men and women, and getting tattoos for the first time, but usually for exactly the same reason as me. They're recording milestones in their lives. So to me, this isn't about age. This is about owning your own story, adding meaning, not subtracting options. It's about being your authentic self, putting your health and happiness first, and not letting your opinion get drowned out by other people. It's about not doing things to please other people and not caring what people think of you. When you're younger, maybe a tattoo is about rebellion. I know I had my ear pierced when I was 18 on a holiday in the Norfolk Broads, and I'll tell you what, if I could have found a tattoo parlour back then, I'd have probably had a tattoo, and I'd have probably had a tattoo that I regretted. You know, the sort of thing, like a love heart or something along those lines, or a swallow on my hand, the back of my hand. So in some ways, I'm glad I wasn't into tattoos at that age. The tattoos that I have now, I've designed them myself, and they have this meaning that I explained to you earlier. So my tattoos are about reflections and milestones, a marker of where I've been and what I value. I think that makes them powerful. This isn't just about ink, it's about the bigger picture. How you age, and how aging doesn't mean stopping. You still have choices. You choose how to spend your time. You choose how to express yourself. You choose to keep writing your story. For me, this latest tattoo is a reminder that I'm still growing, I'm still learning, and I'm still willing to take bold steps. Even at 64, I've still got a lot of life left in me and a lot of things that I still want to do. And this tattoo reminds me that life doesn't stop just because you're in your 60s. It reminds me to continue to live life on my terms, not someone else's. Now I want to hear from you. What have you been wanting to do, but you keep putting it off because you think you're too old? Or maybe you're worried what people might think of you. Maybe you want to learn a new skill or start a business. Or maybe you're looking for a complete change of career. Maybe like me, you're thinking of retiring early, spending time travelling. What's stopping you? Leave a comment below. Join the conversation. Share your story, please. I urge you, don't let a number stop you, because the only limit is the one you place on yourself. Oh, and by the way, if you have got a tattoo already, share the meaning, please, in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy this one too. It's the easy mindset shift that I made that has enabled me to enjoy my 60s. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.